As a friend of mine says, good uprising each morning, because of course mourning is something you do for the dead. Having said that, today's papers, before we get into them, there's going to be a little bit of a here and there, to and fro, just to spice it up a little bit. As you can see, first of all, Prime Minister issues friendly reminder to UK parents that the state owns their children. Have I not been saying this to you for such a long time now? They think they own your children. However, that is only because you consent. Take a look.
It's being suggested in some quarters one way to take control of the streets pretty quickly is either to use water cannon or to get the army on the streets.
No, the way we police in the UK, the way we police is by consent.
So, stop consenting. Stop being on the voters' register. That is your consent. You want your kids to be taken from you? Get off the voters' register and stop it happening. Or at least letting them know that you do not consent to the dictatorship that is being built up around you. Speaking of children, 114 child sex files linked to members of paedophiles, also known as MPs, have vanished as if by magic. Wow, you could have knocked me over with a feather. A bunch of paedophiles who run the country made 114 files just disappear. How's that work then? Wow. We're run by paedophiles for paedophiles. Stop consenting. The anything but independent. Bill Crosby guilty of sexual assault. The 80-year-old comedian arrives at court to hear the verdict in the case relating to an incident in 2004. Well, he's 80 now. Apparently he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, so although that probably won't be too long. Rudd reignites Tory war over customs union. Distraction. And there's going to be a lot of distractions in today's propaganda. Aye. Babe Ruth Davison reveals her pregnancy joy. This is wrong. This is wrong. Bringing another being into a not normal relationship is wrong. And the distraction. Wembley sale. FA in talks with American tycoon. Distraction. Rudd. I won't quit. Home Secretary fired despite having to correct mistaken statement on illegal immigrants, migrant targets. Catalogue of errors over Windrush. It's a chemtrail cough, except it's just a cough really, but you know, just thought I'd add that because they've actually classified it in America as a chemtrail cough. So all those dumbasses that say chemtrails aren't real, it's just a contrail, even though condensation, you know, you see a kettle, it boils, the steam comes up and then it dissipates. That's condensation. Huh? Just point that out to any of the dummies. After latest embarrassment, opposition MPs call for her resignation and claim the Home Office is out of control. The whole government is out of control. They're supposed to be in fear of us, not the other way round. We need rid of all government, all councils, all crooked police, all crooked judges, like in the Elfie judge, who just happens to be involved in a gay society. Nothing wrong with being gay, but you shouldn't be in a position where you're talking life or death over a child. The Times. Gove climbs down in row over pet's electric shock collars. Well, I'm not surprised at that really, because after all they're a bunch of paedophile, satanic, Luciferian scum that enjoy torturing. So torturing an animal, it's one step closer to torturing a human, isn't it? Which they do all the time. Rudd fuels Tory unrest over Brexit. Home Secretary cast out on customs union plan. Blah, blah, blah. American tycoon bids 900 million for Wembley. Well, it cost them over 750 million to build it. And, of course, the FA is a private for-profit corporation. So when others say, oh, you got it. It's a corporation. You know that your football team, if you support a football team, is a corporation. You support a corporation, then don't be surprised when they do stupid things and sell things off for profit. That's all they're concerned about, making a profit. Daily Fail. Parasite alert. As speculation grows he'll be called Albert, why hasn't Charles met his new baby grandson yet? Who gives a flying fish what his name's going to be? He's going to be abused. He's not hers, grown in a frigging bag. That's obvious by the fact that she was out the same day, but oh no, that's because that's the way you do things. Bullshit, she never gave birth to that kid. As President's visit to Britain is confirmed, and how predictable, left-wing rabble-rousers call for mass demonstrations. Trump faces London ban. Distraction. Cosby, the sex predator, could die in jail. Oh, that'd be a shame, wouldn't it? A rapist dying in jail. Is that simple enough for you? That's what he is. But apparently you're supposed to feel sorry for him. Next you'll be feeling sorry for all the MPs for carrying out their paedophilia, raping and murdering of children. But no. Let's concern ourselves with a washed up rapist. Express. What could go wrong? Trump is in Britain on Friday the 13th. Well, anything. Zoe Ball, her vain bid to save lover from suicide. And the main headline is nothing sacred. It's a friggin' football stadium where idiots go to watch 22 other idiots run about kicking a bag of wind around and then paying for the privilege. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? How on earth can the FA even think of selling Wembley Stadium when your money paid to build it twice? Because they're a for-profit corporation that are only interested in lining their own pockets with slave notes. The utterly despicable scum. Wembley to be sold to Yanks. They think it's all over. $1 billion NFL deal for iconic England HQ. Distraction and more distraction. Pulls girls wild past. Who cares what she's done in the past? Has she hurt anyone? No, she just acted like she's a young girl that went out and had some fun. But no, that's front page headlines in Britain's propaganda papers. Zoe Big to Save Lover. Russell, my mouth, blah. Star. So we've got the star, we've got the sun. There seem to be planetary things, you know. It's like they almost like they worship the star, the sun, which is a star, of course, and star is the sun. And yeah, well, you get the idea. I battle to save my Billy. Fury has yanked by Wembley. A kick in the balls. Oh yeah, well. Never mind, eh? The Guardian. Rudd scraps targets of removal of immigrants. Mostly we are just overjoyed at the prospect of starting a family. Sick. Gene breakthrough raises hope for better depression treatment. Let me think. Wonder why everyone's depressed. Have you got any ideas? Oh really? Yeah, well, interesting. It's because the government are a bunch of depressive, parasitical, Luciferian, satanic scum that bring out all these made up legislation. Of course there is no law in the UK, it's all legislation. Of course some will say it's given the force of law by consent. You remember what I said at the beginning? Stop frigging consenting. Comedian Cosby trial, comedian guilty of aggravated sexual assault. That's what we call rape. How about we have a look in the mirror? Jim's back in Corrie, so he is. Great. So, a show that is written nothing to do with reality whatsoever is front page headlines. Mind you, if you watch that shit, there's probably no hope for you anyway, because you believe that's real more than looking out the window and seeing reality. Seeing that the paedophiles in Parliament are raping and murdering children, and you just carry on. Oh well, you know, it's not doing me. I've got Corrie's on. Corrie's on. Oh, EastEnders is on. Dumbed down masses. Selling football soul. Fury has FA to flog Wembley, home of the English game, and to an American billionaire. Sex for sale aid suspended. Tories act over ministers' diary secretary after Mirror reveals her escort shame. Wow, what, you mean there's something to do with sex and stuff, messing about with MPs and that? Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather. Telegraph. The tragic case of Elfie Evans, father calls for protests to end. Wembley for sale, the American billionaire who's offered 600 million. Well, wait a minute, didn't they pay 750 million because they couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery when they were putting for bids to build it, but they didn't do it in such a way that it has to be built by this date, otherwise you'll get a £100,000 penalty a day. No, they ain't got the brains to do that. And so it overran and it overcosted. Wow, what a shock. The FA couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery. Trump to meet the Queen, so he's off to meet the head paedophile. July visit will include talks with Sovereign and Sovereign. She ain't no sovereign, she's a traitorous, treasonous scum. And PM, another traitorous, treasonous scum, and they're both satanic Luciferian scum. But President may avoid London. Rudd rebooked by number 10 after Customs Union gaffe. It's all a game to them. They don't care, they're playing with your life. It's just a gaffe, you know. Because of our gaffe, 100,000 poor people are going to die. What a silly gaffe. That's how they see it. 1 million more private parking fines. When are you going to stand up for yourselves and say, I've had enough of this? I'm sick of the children being raped and murdered by the satanic Luciferian paedophiles called MPs, members of paedophilia. Just ignore it, just carry on doing it. Someone else will do it, don't worry about it, you just carry on, someone else will do it. What if they don't? What happens when your kids go missing and get raped and murdered? Oh well, someone else will do it, you know, yeah, carry on. Bank recoups cash in the knickers. Banks need to be abolished. Their owners and managers need to be locked up for crimes against humanity. If you're a bank manager, you know exactly how the money system works. You've got no excuse. You should be in prison. Metro. Guilty, guilty, guilty. All MPs are guilty of paedophilia. It's what it should be in the headlines. TV star Bill Crosby faces life behind bars for sick drug and sex assault on women, known as rape. Trump's UK visit on Friday 13th. Amber's day to forget. William is Harry's best man. 60 seconds with Karen Glynn. Who gives a shit that William is going to be Harry's best man? Apparently, the actress, you know, the newest actress, Megan, yeah, she's been to the Queen and said that every time she sucks Harry's cock, she gets heartburn. The Queen said, have you tried Andrews? The FT. NFL poised to gain territory at Wembley. Dush steps back from global stage to renew focus on Europe. Lender to shrink investment bank. 300 US jobs axed. New chief suing acts quickly. Right, first thing I want you to look at that statement there. Lender to shrink investment banks. They do not lend anyone anything. When you go and fill out the agreement, you sign it, you create what is known as a promissory note. A promissory note that they merely facilitate your gaining of the promissory notes. So they don't lend anything. You've got to start seeing the bigger picture and seeing what's really going on and realising that it's a scam. Just like Parliament is a scam. We've been scammed for our entire lives, but we're starting to become aware of the scam. And the only way everyone else will become aware is if you start talking to them about it. Or better still, Start pointing them to my videos. So, with that, subscribe to my channel, all of them, including the YouTube ones, but PooTube, BitChute, Dailymotion, because my videos go out there first now, after YouTube's disgraceful debacle of what it's done. It goes on the other channels first, and later maybe goes on YouTube, and sometimes very soon it may only be going on the other channels, because I'm sick of YouTube's dictatorship.